Hey guys, coming in another Tony soundtrack review for you guys, and first of all, I want to say I'm sorry that I haven't been able to get these up as quickly as I wanted to. I mean, I have two more to review. There's one that I have to skip completely just because I'm not going to have time to listen to it and review it before Tony's, because Tony's are tomorrow, and my goal is to get these done before the Tony's. Maybe if it wins a lot during the Tony's, maybe I'll review it then, but I'm not really sure. But let's just get to this one. This is going to be our review for a soundtrack that I've wanted to listen to for quite a long time. Probably out of all of these, one of the ones I've been looking forward to the most, and that is the Broadway soundtrack for Waitress. And I say the Broadway version because Sarah Bareilles, of course, she wrote the music for Waitress, and she made a whole CD of her singing half of the songs in her own rendition. It sounds like how her music is, and it's really cool. If you guys haven't listened to that, I suggest you do after you listen to this soundtrack, because it's really great. I definitely recommend you do that. But just from hearing those songs, I was really hyped for this soundtrack. It sounded like it was going to have some really good songs on there. I was really looking forward to seeing how it was going to be. But also because of the fact that I didn't really know the story of Waitress, I didn't see the movie, and just the songs in general, I was very impressed. I was very interested in seeing how she was going to do in the show, but also because of the talent here. I mean, you have the likes of Jesse Mueller, Nick Cordero, and Keala Seattle, who we all know have Broadway backgrounds and can act really, really well, and also have amazing voices. So I was pretty much sold with this, and I am so happy it came out earlier than it did. And obviously, I mean, it's no surprise that Waitress is amazing. I love this soundtrack. Now, yes, it's very lighthearted, and it's not really, but it's a big story. It is a big story. It's lighthearted, but like I said, it is a big story, and it is quite sad at times, but it doesn't take itself too seriously. That's one of the reasons I really do love it. Starting off with the first song, which I really do love the first song here, and I will say that there are some songs in this that I like more than Sarah Bareilles' version, but then there are some songs that I like Sarah Bareilles' version more than the original. I'll get into that when that happens. Starting off with the first song, let's get into that, which the first song is called What's Inside.
I'm hoping to start, and then it's down with the recipe, and bake from the heart, sugar.
I think this is the perfect way to start off the show. Perfectly, we understand what the big premise of the show is. She bakes these pies, and everyone wonders what's inside them because she makes them so good, and how I feel like she personally also, doesn't really know. She knows what's inside, but, it's more of, how they make her feel and everything. I really love the way that's done. You kind of see that this is her life. She's devoted her life to these pies. It's just a really good way to start it, and also, I love the way it starts off with, all the people handing pies to her being, them asking her what's inside, and she doesn't really want to reveal what's inside, which is very interesting. But that perfectly leads us into the real opening track, which is Opening Up.
Of an old routine,
days keep coming,
one out, one in, they keep coming.
And make that coffee strong enough to chew.
I don't know what I wish I had, but there's no time now for thinking things like that. We got too much to do, all these same things. We're always opening up, letting the day in. Over a cup, we'll say hello. How you been? Looking around, seeing the same things every day brings. Hello, how you been? Thank you, come again. Some things never change. I would.
Now, like I said, Sarah Bareilles did release her own soundtrack of all the songs, and What's Inside was one that I never really, latched onto until the soundtrack came out. The soundtrack version I love, but her version I don't really love as much. Opening Up was one I immediately love. I'm like, okay, I love this. She sounds amazing on it, and it was really good. It's just nowhere near as good as what this gives us, because this is incredible. I mean, between the three girls, Keala Seattle, Kimiko Green, and Sarah Bareilles, not Sarah, but Jesse Mueller, they all do an incredible job in this song. You perfectly see what their life is like. You see that they constantly have to, deliver these pies. She makes these pies and everything. You can definitely see the chemistry these three have. I definitely really do enjoy that, and it's just a really fun opening track. I think it perfectly gets you into the world of the show. It perfectly shows you what kind of shows this is going to be, and I really loved it. It's a really good way to start off. I constantly am listening to it. I love the beat of it as well. It's a very upbeat track, and I definitely recommend you guys listen to it. It's a great way to start it, and I really do love opening up. It's a great way to start things off. But then we get to the central conflict of the show with the next song, The Negative.
Just calm down, goddammit! Maybe it'll all be fine. Maybe there'll be just one line. Come on, negative. I thought you don't sleep with your husband much anymore.
Well, he got me drunk. I do stupid things when I drink, like sleep with my husband.
Honey, we've all made that mistake.
Focus on the negative.
This will all be alright.
It was only one night. Someone send me a sign. One line. Let me.
Now, unlike What's Inside and Opening Up, I had not heard this song prior. This is one of the songs that Sarah Bareilles left off her CD, and I'm glad she did, because this is a song that you really couldn't do as a solo performance, because all of her songs on her CD are solo performances, so I didn't really know what character was going to sing it. But this song is, Kimiko Glenn, and Kiala Seattle basically counseling Jenna, our main character, that she's pregnant, and she doesn't know if she's pregnant or not, and of course, by the end of the song, we realize she is pregnant. It's just a fun little song. I heard a lot of people say, oh, it's too country, things like that. I don't see it as country. I see it more as pop. Yes, they're from the South, but then they have very thick accents, but I don't see it as country. I heard someone in my school complain that this show is too, country, and they don't like it because of that. I really enjoy it, though. I think it's a lot of fun. Is it my favorite track? No, I think it's a lot of fun. I definitely do enjoy it, and how they're trying to keep her calm throughout it, and then she realizes that it's a positive, and she's freaking out about it, she doesn't really know what to do. I think it was really great, but that thing gets us into what is one of my favorite songs this entire soundtrack, called What Baking Can Do.
Doubt can be delicious, and it washes off of all the dirty dishes. When it's done, I can smile. It's on someone else's plate for a while. I'll place it on display, and then I'll slice and serve my worries away.
Now, I already knew Jesse Mueller could sing, of course, from Beautiful. She was incredible in that, but that is not near what she does here. I heard a lot of people say she's holding back, and no, I feel like this expands her voice more. I mean, there she had a very melancholy type, softer voice, and here she has to reach much bigger notes and play a much different kind of character, and she really kills it in this song. I mean, you can see, just from this song, it's telling a story, and that's something I really do love, is that basically in this song, you see Jenna, she's talking about how pies make her feel better, and how despite all the chaos going on in her life, because she does have a lot going on in her life, these pies really are just making her feel better, and they calm her, and baking is the thing that just, calms her. Everyone has that thing that, completely soothes them, and is a good coping mechanism. For Jenna, baking pies is said coping mechanism. I think she does that very well. Jesse Mueller especially, though, she is incredible on this track. She has a killer voice, which I knew already, but even more so on this. I think she sounds amazing here. It's one of my favorite tracks to listen to. I love everything about What Baking Can Do. Just the way she describes pies and the way she compares them to things. I mean, pie baking is so much more for her than just baking. Like I said, it's a way of life. It's something that she loves to do, and you love her just as much for it. I absolutely love this track. It's amazing stuff, and What Baking Can Do by far is one of my favorite tracks on here. And then we have two small little things. We have Club Knocked Up and then Pomander Pie, but then that gets us into what was one of my favorite songs when I first heard it, and is still one of my favorites, When He Sees Me.
Who might talk too fast or ask me questions about myself before I've decided that he can ask me questions about myself. He might sit too close or call the waiter by his first name or eat Oreos, but eat the cookie before the cream. But what scares me the most gets me the most is what if when he sees me, what if he doesn't like it? What if he runs the other way and I can't hide from it? What happens then if when he knows me, he's only disappointed? What if I give myself away to only get it given back? I couldn't live with.
Now, Club Knocked Up is pretty much, I think, a fantasy performance. If we're going in this club and everyone's, like, pregnant, things like that, I'm not really sure. Matter Pie is kind of just, like, this really nice instrumental track that sounds like what Bacon can do. But then we get to When He Sees Me, which right away when I heard it on Sarah Bareilles' CD, I fell in love with this song. I love it. I think it's the perfect example of what both a guy and a girl faces on a date. Even though this is a girl singing, I think a guy thinks just as much when they go on a date. I mean, she's thinking of, does she really want to stay in this relationship? What is he really going to be like? I don't know if she's met this... I don't know if Kimiko, Glenn's character, has met this guy online or anything, because the show does not have a full-on plot synopsis like other Wikipedia show. You know, most times what I do is I go to Wikipedia and they tell me like what's going on in each song. This, however, does not do that, so I'm kind of just guessing that maybe she met a guy online or something and now she's kind of freaking out about it. But she does a really great job. I kind of like Sarah Bareilles' version a bit more, but I've grown to like this version. When I first heard it, I was like, I do not like this because it sounded so drastically different from Sarah Bareilles'. But after a few listens, I've really enjoyed it. I like the background harmonies. I think Kimiko Glenn, you know, she has a really wacky voice, and I think that's really the kind of voice you need for this. You know, you can't have a serious voice here because this isn't all a serious song. You know, she's going a bit crazy. You're trying to figure out, you know, how's this guy really going to be? Is he really everything I want him to be? I think it's a very fun song. I really enjoy it overall. She really does a great job with it, and I've really grown to love When He Sees Me. I didn't love it at first, but over time I really did enjoy it. And then the next two songs are ones that weren't originally featured on Sarah Bareilles' CD, starting off with the first one, which is What Bacon Can Do.
No, she was a waitress at a shop I used to frequent quite a lot. Nice teeth and small hands and snuck me goodies I couldn't afford then. She was sweet to me, reminds me of you.
Oh, well, nobody ever really notices me that way, so...
Somebody did, right? Yeah, because you have the baby.
She'd make the pies fresh every day, like you, I guess. But I must say, if pies were books, yours would be Shakespeare's letters. You remind me of her, but better.
Now, most of the duets were left off the soundtrack. There was two that were, like, on the soundtrack, but this one was not, and I'm very happy it wasn't, because it's a very good introduction to the character of the Doctor and Jenna, because the Doctor really is the person that she starts to fall in love with, and right away you can tell that they are going to get together. It's a bit predictable, but I don't think it's too predictable. It's actually really sweet the way they handle it. I definitely really do enjoy it. You know, Dr. Perlmutter and Jenna, how he pretty much, you know, is trying to impress her, and it's not really working, and he compares her to, like, this old woman. I think it's really funny. I think the interplay between these two, they work really well together, and they just have really nice chemistry in this song. You know, Drew Gelling is really great. I'm surprised he didn't get nominated because he's really great here. Jesse Mueller is also fantastic. They just do a really great job in the song. It's very sweet. You can tell these two are getting together, but then the complete opposite that happens in our next song, which is You Will Still Be Mine.
I wrote your love songs, and you like that sad one, so I played it all the time. What was that one line? Something about sunshine. I sang it every night. Where the sun don't shine. No, that can't be it. When the sun won't shine. What was it, baby?
Till the sun don't shine.
Now, this by far is one of the most uncomfortable tracks on the entire CD. Why? Because Nick Cordero, you know, I've seen him before, of course, in Bullet. You know, I haven't seen him, but I've heard him in Bullets on Broadway. He has an incredible voice. Here he's playing a much different character, because this is when we start to learn that not only is Jenna married, that her husband is abusive, and that she basically had this baby based on, like, one night in, like, Vegas or something, and now, you know, he abuses her constantly, and you can just tell the fear in her voice. That's why Jesse Mueller's so good in this, because the fear in her voice is so prevalent on the, so present in the soundtrack with her, till the sun don't shine. You can tell that she's scary because she doesn't know if he's just gonna go up and beat her after this. I mean, it's really crazy thing about him, the way that he's forcing her to say, I'm still part of your life and I'm still, you're still mine, everything. It's really creepy, but Nick Cordero really plays it off really well. He doesn't portray it too over the top. It's very subtle the way he does it. You can just tell by the diction in his voice that he's not a good guy. He's very possessive. He clearly is obsessed with her, and he will do whatever he can to make sure that she is still his. And it's, I think, that one of the perfect examples of an abusive relationship, and they did that really well in the song. I mean, I love the rock song in general. Like, the rock, this is probably the most rock type song on the CD because it's not really pop, it's more rock, and Nick Cordero really does a great job with that. I'd love to see him do like a rock type show, and it's really the only song that he has, but he really kills it. He does a great job. I'm surprised that he really wasn't nominated because I think he should have been. He really did a great job here, but again, it's very uncomfortable to listen to. I constantly find myself listening to it. It's just, when you realize what's going on in the song, it's very hard to listen to it, but they both do a great job that I can't help but listen. It's one of those kind of things. But then we get to another song called A Soft Place to Land. This is one of the more calmer tracks off this soundtrack. I mean, it's a really good song overall. I definitely do enjoy it. It is one of my least favorites, but it's still really good, and that's something, is that the three of them sound really good together. You can really see how these three, they look out for each other. They're more than just co-workers. They're really just three really good friends. Even though they're much different ages, I think they all really do work well together in this song. I really do love all three of them, Jesse Mueller, Kimiko Glenn, and, Kiala Seattle. They all sound fantastic here. They all do a great job. And like I said, not one of my favorite songs or anything, but definitely really good. I definitely do enjoy it. However, the next song is another one of the songs that I immediately fell in love with off of Sarah Bareilles' soundtrack, Never Ever Getting Rid of Me.
Outside, such a stubborn man, you'll likely never meet another. When we have our family dinner, you can ask my mother. She's the best. You'll learn more about her on our family history test. I'm gonna do this right, show you I'm not moving. Wherever you go, I won't be far to follow home. I'm gonna love you so, you'll learn what I already know. I love you means you're never, ever, ever getting rid of me. You can try.
Now, it should be known that the Kimiko Glenn part of this show, is a lot less serious than anything else because this song is really silly, and it's kind of like a more silly version of, You Will Still Be Mine. Christopher Fitzgerald does not at all come across, though, as a bad guy. He comes more across as a desperate guy, a guy that clearly is in love with her. He's not going to take no for an answer, and he's going to keep trying to get to her, and it's really fun to see. I think he does a really good job, and the way that she's like, when you say never, what are you talking about? I think it's really funny overall. These two work really well, and I've seen Christopher Fitzgerald in things before. He was really funny here. I think he does a really great job, and it's much different than Sarah Bareilles' because Sarah Bareilles is girl singing, and that's what I thought this was going to be, but of course, she sang everything on that soundtrack. Here, I was surprised to hear Christopher Fitzgerald, but he does a great job. I love his voice. I think he does a great job here. The comic interplay between these two is priceless. I think they both work really well. I definitely really do enjoy it. But then we get to one of my favorite songs off this soundtrack.
You have a husband.
You're my doctor.
You got a baby coming.
It's a bad idea, me and you.
Let's just keep kissing till we come to.
Hearts stop racing, let's face it. Making mistakes like this will make worse what was already pretty bad.
Mine stop running. It's time we just let this thing go. It was a pretty good bad idea.
another one where I listened to it on Sarah Bareilles' soundtrack, and I just didn't really love it the way I do now. Now, I absolutely love it. Now, I think it sounds amazing. I think this version is fantastic. I think Drew Gelling and Jesse Mueller, you know, there's something about them. They just have perfect chemistry, and they sound so well together. When Sarah Bareilles did with Jason Mraz, it wasn't bad. It just felt like something was missing. And I think it was the more bigger production value on this song. It sounds bigger. It sounds funny. It's just more fun. And I really do enjoy everything about it. And it is an interesting situation because these two clearly do want to get together and make that move. But he's married and she is this abusive ex-husband. And she has a baby with a, you know, abusive husband. And she has a baby on the way. So it's really a conflicting sort of situation. But it's also one of the situations where you could see why she's going to end up cheating and why something is probably going to happen between these two. I think they do a really good job with this song. I really do enjoy it overall, and I love the harmonies between them as well. They both sound fantastic. You know, I especially love the chorus part of the song. Time to let this thing go, you know, was a really bad idea, wasn't it though? That part, the part wasn't it though? I think that part's really good. I really love it overall. Really great song. Again, a song that I didn't love initially when I first heard it on Sarah Bareilles', but then when I heard it here, I instantly fell in love with it. I instantly loved it, and it really does show how some of these are just better when they're done in the show than tracks on their own, because some of them do work really well as their own songs, but some of them I think work a lot better as, you know, in the show or the context of the show, and I definitely think that's very prevalent here. But then the next song is really the only solo for Keala Settle, and that is I Didn't Plan It.
I won't undo what I'm doing to sit in judgment of what makes us human. I don't claim to be proud, but my head won't be hung in shame. I didn't plan it, but the light turned red and I ran it, and I'm still standing. It's not what I wanted, but now that it's right here, I understand it. A story written by my own hand. It's
Now, while Keala's settled, I keep saying Seattle, but it's settled, while she sounds fantastic on the song, I have no idea what the context of the song is. I don't know, because again, there wasn't a plot synopsis given. All I know is that she totally kills it, but I already knew she could kill it. I mean, she was amazing in Hands of the Hard Body, she was great in Les Mis. I mean, she really just has a really great powerhouse voice, and I'm surprised she doesn't have more to do here, but she really does a great job in this song. She really sounds fantastic. I just don't really know the context of it. I forgot to say, by the way, Bad Idea is the end of Act 1. This is the beginning of Act 2. When she's singing, I think she definitely does a really good job. I really do love the character of Becky. I just don't really know what situation she's facing or what she's really singing about. I don't really know. But then we get into a reprise of Bad Idea, which I'm not going to play, but that then goes into probably the most romantic song in the show, and a song I instantly fell in love with, and that is You Matter to Me.
Simple and plain, and not much to ask from somebody. You matter to me, I promise you do. You matter too, I promise you do. You'll see. You matter.
It's addictive the minute you let yourself think. The things that I say just might matter to someone. All of this time I've been keeping my mind on the running away, and for the first time I think I'd consider this day.
Now, the reprise of Bad Idea is really good. You know, we see that again, these two want to be together, but then all that pretty much changes in You Matter to Me when they realize that how much they matter to each other and how much they do want to make this move. And it's a very sweet song, you know, I just love everything about it. And Sarah Bareilles and the guy, Jason Mraz, I think was the other guy in the song, they sound fantastic together. They really do on Sarah Bareilles' version. But Jesse Mueller's, again, something about them, they just have really great chemistry, and it sounds amazing They both sound amazing on this track. It's a very beautiful song. It's a song where I could see many couples singing, definitely. I mean, it's just a great song overall. I love everything about it. I think they sound fantastic on it, and it's clear by the end of the song that they are going to try things out, and they are going to try a relationship, despite the fact she has this very abusive husband. They are going to try it out. They're going to try to move past everything she's facing. I love it. It's very sweet. I think they work very well together, and again, it doesn't come across as cheesy. I just really enjoy it overall. I think they both do a great job, and something about Drew Gelling and Jesse Mueller, they just have really great chemistry, and this song further establishes that. But then we get to another really great love song that's equally just as good, but a lot more fun. I Love You Like a Table.
Spontaneous, I'll sing from mountaintops. I am in love, 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 and I don't care who knows it. Lucky me, I was ordinary, but with your love, you see, I am a poem writer. I will express this if I'm able. I love you like a table. My legs were carved for you. I love you like a table.
Now, this song is a minute long. It's really short, but it's really short but sweet. It's a very sweet song. I really do enjoy it. Like I said, the Ogie Dawn stuff, or, you know, Chris Fitzgerald and, Kimiko Glenn, you know, that's more of the silly stuff in here, but they both work really well together, and it's a lot of fun to listen to. I really enjoyed overall. It's pretty much the point where they realize that they are going to be together. They're not just going to keep, you know, distancing themselves from each other anymore. You know, he finally sways her over. It's really sweet overall, and I really enjoy it. I think they both do a really good job. I really enjoy this song, and they both sound really good in it, and it's a song that, again, I could hear couples singing. It's a really nice song. Again, just as good as You Matter to Me, not as slow as You Marry Me and not as meaningful as You Marry Me, but just as good. It's very sweet, and I really do enjoy it overall. And then we get to the next song, which is Take It From an Old Man.
Slipping past, we want to hold it in our hands, but no one ever sees what falls through the cracks. Take it from an old man. My mistakes have made me, and I am what I am. And though I don't believe in silver linings, I believe there's something in you. Something good is trying to break.
If I remember correctly, this is from her father dancing with her. I'm not really sure, but whatever it is, it's a really good song. It's not my favorite or anything, but I think the guy who sings it, that'd be Dankin Matthews, sounds really good here. I think he does a really good job on this song. I just don't really know, again, the context of it. It sounds more like he's trying to give her advice and everything. I believe it's her father. I'm not really sure. It's some kind, if he's not, he's either like her grandfather or something. I'm not really sure. I really enjoyed it overall, though. It's really sweet, and I think he does a really good job on it. Again, not my favorite or anything, but then we get to what I think most people would call the best song in this show. Just, you know, the best song, the most meaningful, and one of Jesse Mueller's best songs ever, She Used to Be Mine.
Girl, she's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. Sometimes life just slips in through a back door and carves out a person and makes you believe it's all true. And now I at you. You're not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over.
Now, this was another song when I first heard it that, again, I instantly fell in love with, and I think everyone's pretty much the same way. This is a beautiful song. There are so many great things about it. I mean, one, Jesse Mueller sounds fantastic on this track, no doubt about it. Sarah Bareilles sounded great as well. They have very similar voices, though, in this song. You can definitely tell. Like, they sound very much the same, and I really do enjoy that. Jesse Mueller's is definitely higher than Sarah Bareilles because she's definitely more of a soprano than in an alto range, which clearly, I wouldn't say Sarah Bareilles is entirely alto, but she just sings it lower than Jesse Mueller did. I'm not really sure why, she just does. But basically, I think the context of this song is that she wasn't gonna have this baby. She was gonna, like, put, you know, give it not abortion, but she was gonna put up for adoption or something, and now she's realizing she does really want this child. It's really sweet. I really enjoyed overall the way she has these memories of who she wants this child to be, even though the child's not born yet. I think it's really sweet. I enjoyed overall. You definitely see how much she's changing in the sense that before she didn't want the child, and now she does want the child. Really sweet overall, really love it, and that perfectly gets us into the next song. And let me just say, Jesse Mueller, if you think she's holding back, listen to this song. She most certainly is not holding back. She sounds incredible on this song. She really sounds amazing, and I'm so impressed by how much her voice improved from Beautiful to this. I mean, Beautiful, she sounded amazing, but she just sounds so much more improved here, and I don't really know what it is. She sounded great in both shows, but she really is fantastic here, and I gotta say, if she does not win Best Actress at the Tonys because of the song, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because she totally deserves it. I think, should win. I honestly think she should win Best Actress. She is incredible. She did a great job, and that perfectly gets us into the next song, where she has the baby, which is the contraction ballet, but then we get to the second to last song called Everything Changes.
And I will guard it with my life, adding the moon for it to shine on her sleeping, starting here and starting now. I can feel the heart of how everything changes.
This is another song where when I heard in Sarah Bareilles, I instantly fell in love with it, but again, just like opening up, this one just sounds so much better because of the added, you know, background vocals, and then everyone else singing. You know, Kimiko Glenn has a verse in there, Keala Settle has a part there. I mean, everything just sounds fantastic, and it sounds so complete. And I will say, Sarah Bareilles, you know, as good as it is, it just does feel a bit incomplete when listening to this, and she really, again, it just sounds fantastic. And pretty much the context here, I mean, this one is pretty simple. She's had the baby, everything's better now, things are really starting to get better for her, she's now kind of moving on, she's realizing what she was missing in life, she wants to have a future with Dr. Pomatter. It's just a really great way to end things. It's not the complete ending of the show, but I think everyone sounds incredible here. I think the track here, it just feels very complete. I love everything about it. It's just really hopeful, and I love that the show, you know, it's sad, but it ends off in a hopeful note. I really do enjoy it, especially when you get to the finale, which is, of course, the finale opening, a reprise of opening up.
Looking around at the same things, all of them changing, 'cause everything does. Life's rearranging, and we're opening up to what's inside of, what's inside of.
This is definitely the perfect finale for this show. I mean, there are multiple reasons why this is the perfect finale. One, because it's really cool they start with opening up and end with opening up, because she's so different in both of these things. I mean, in the first opening up, it's more like, you know, this is the only thing that's helping her, and now she's had so much triumph. I believe she won, like, a pie contest, which I know it happened in the movie, but I don't know if it happened here. But basically, you know, the only recap I can use is a Wikipedia recap, by the way. I can't really use what happened in the show, because, again, there's nothing there. But I love the finale for the show. I think everything sounds fantastic. I think, again, I've said it before, but those three ladies, they just sound fantastic here. It sounds complete. I think as a finale, it's just perfect. And I love what the last line of the show is the first line, sugar, butter, flour, because those are the three things that are in her pies. But now she has her daughter Lulu as well. It's just really sweet. I really enjoy it. It's fluffy, but it's a good kind of fluffy, and I definitely enjoy it. A great way to end the show, and overall, just really good stuff. And yeah, so I think it's a really great finale. I definitely really do enjoy it, and definitely a perfect end to a near perfect soundtrack. So overall, guys, I really do love this soundtrack. I think it overall is fantastic. It definitely is one of the best Tony soundtracks, but I said that for every soundtrack. They're all so great. I haven't found one I don't like yet. I think they're all really great nominees this year. But if anything, you know, I definitely think there's some things that we're missing here, like Drew Gelling or Nick Cordero. You know, any of the three guys, why weren't they nominated? I don't really know. There were some things obviously nominated, you know, for the Tonys. In fact, I'm going to look for what those things were right now, because there definitely was a good amount of stuff nominated. You know, it was nominated for Best Musical, Best Performance. You know, Chris Fitzgerald was in fact nominated. He was nominated, so he has a chance of winning. And Best Original Score, Sarah Bareilles. I mean, she definitely. I want this to get Best Original Score. I really do. I mean, I know I said Bright Star, but I want this to get Best Original Score. I mean, it sounds fantastic. It's a great score, and I know Hamilton's gonna pretty much take everything. Which that review is coming, guys. But I think that this score is just fantastic, and the fact that Sarah Bareilles, who I never really thought of as Broadway, now she's doing this, and she's doing like a Guys and Dolls Hollywood Bowl performance. I mean, she really has a much bigger range than we thought she did, and I think she is going to have a lot of credentials from this show either way. Best Musical, this show is not winning Best Musical, but Jessie Mueller has to win for Best Actress. I mean, she is just fantastic in this show. She did a great job, and if she doesn't win, I'm going to be very surprised. But overall, guys, let me know what you guys thought of the soundtrack if you have listened to it. How does it hold up to Sarah Bareilles'? I mean, for me, like I said, there are some I like more, and then there are some I like just as much. For me, the soundtrack is very enjoyable. I constantly am listening to it. I really enjoy it. It's definitely probably my second favorite right next to Hamilton, which that's probably my next one that I review. But let me know what you guys thought of the soundtrack. I really do love it overall, and I will see you guys in the next one, which will be for the final Tony soundtrack. I have one more to review. I'm sure you guys know what it is, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.